We're also seeing a spike in gun violence in our own community.
Yeah, there were 5 homicides in Kansas City, Missouri over the weekend. That brings the total for 2021 to 39 deaths. That is 4 more homicides than at this point last year. There were 35 in 2020 at this point, and 2020 ended with 176 homicides, which was the deadliest year the city has ever seen. In 2019, there were 31 homicides at this point, and in 2017, 26. Now, 2 of the people killed over the weekend were 15 years old. This morning, we want to talk about solutions.
A new task force in the city is focusing on helping victims of violence. 41 Action News reporter Charlie Keegan joins us with what kind of difference this group is hoping to make. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning, Lindsay. We know that a homicide and even a shooting, they impact so many people. So the health department here behind me in Kansas City, Missouri, has created this new task force to really help the survivors and the victims' families in these cases. So I want to walk you through some of the group's new goals here to avoid scenes like the ones we saw over the weekend and what you're seeing on your TV screen right now. They want to work with hospitals and police departments on notification and visitation policies when a relative is the victim of violence. They want to work to build trust between the victims and the judicial systems. And they also want to work to avoid retaliation.
They take on a mindset, any problems I have, I handle on my own. Right. And that's what we don't need, because that's what we're seeing. People handling problems, taking matters into their own hands.
Yeah, so the message from the health department is don't take those matters into your own hands. Don't fight violence with violence. And so, Lindsay and Taylor, this new task force, the Victim Services Task Force, one of its first jobs is to listen. And so during its meeting last week, it actually had a listening session to hear from victims of violence and their families and help it determine its own priorities moving forward here.
Now, Charlie, another group meeting today, the Kansas City Board of Police Commissioners. What do we expect them to talk about? Will they be talking about this?
Well, this is their just kind of regularly scheduled monthly meeting, Lindsay. So we know that they're going to be doing a lot of procedural, administrative work. But yeah, it's safe to assume that, this weekend will probably be brought up. The public does have a chance to speak, so there will be public testimony. We also expect to get an update on the body-worn cameras that the police department is now using here in Kansas City. So that is something we'll be keeping close tabs on later this morning.
All right, Charlie King reporting live for us this morning. Again, we are past where we were at this point last year, where Kansas City set a record for the number of homicides in 1 year. Charlie, thank you. If you have any information on the violence over the weekend or any other violent crime in the metro area, please call the TIPS hotline. It's right there on your screen, 816-474-TIPS. We've talked about it a lot. You will remain anonymous completely. They have no idea who you are when you call this, and it could earn you a cash reward of up to $25,000 if you call in a tip.